Hello, everyone, and welcome to Easy Latin Stories. I had the idea for this channel when we had all that snow earlier this year. I was stuck at home, and boredom just brought some inspiration. So here we are with 10 tips plus one game changer to help you learn Latin with comprehensible input. So, what is comprehensible input? Basically, it's the idea that you learn language better when you can understand it. Even if there are a few new words, if you can understand most of it, you'll pick that up a lot better than just long sentences that are really tricky to figure out, which is what a lot of the Latin texts we have are. So, that could be really tricky for beginners. So, the basic idea is understand the message first and the language will follow. So I have 5 tips for kids and 5 tips for parents, and then the game changer. So don't worry if you don't understand every word. I keep the sentences very repetitive, and there are a few, generally toward the beginning or end of the story, that don't quite follow the pattern. So don't worry if you don't understand those completely, because with the pictures and the context, you can probably get the gist of it. And that's really all you need, especially at the beginning. Start at the beginning and listen to the same stories more than once. So the stories do build on each other. So I try to reuse words that I taught in previous lessons, but I don't generally put them back in the vocabulary intro. So if you start with the first story I published, it will just make more sense because you'll be going in the right order. Another thing you can do is try to read along, either silently or out loud. So I am trying to use the classical pronunciation. I admit it's not perfect. I'm doing my best. But if you prefer the ecclesiastical pronunciation, you can also do that if you just put it on silent and read it along. Another great tip is to imagine the story in your head. So think about what's going on, what might happen next, and use the pictures to help you. And these are supposed to be fun. If it's engaging, you'll get so much more out of it. I suggest you use them over holidays, sick days, during the summer, just to keep Latin in your head and keep things fun. So for parents, don't expect perfect understanding at first, especially at the beginning when almost every word is new. You don't need to know every word to understand the main idea. And repetition is so important. I suggest watching a single video every day for a week and then moving on to the next video just so you get that repetition and those words will start to stick in your head. So in terms of quizzes, you don't need to turn every video into a quiz. These are supposed to be fun. But you can ask questions about the story to check for understanding. Did you understand the basic plot? Kind of what was going on? That kind of thing. You can also talk about the English derivatives that are provided at the end of the story. And I have never made videos before this, so I am still figuring out how to use all the software. It likes to skip over slides when I'm not talking. So sometimes those can be really short. You might have to stop the video in order to really see them clearly and read the whole thing. Still working on that, working out the kinks with this whole thing, but here we are. Keep sessions short and consistent. So my videos tend to be about 10 minutes long. For the long version, if it's just the story, it's probably less than 5 minutes. But just being able to do that every day, after a few months, you'll start to see a ton of progress. So overall, this method of learning Latin is less memorizing, more stories, more time spent learning Latin in context, which means faster progress. So a lot of other videos on YouTube that I saw, which is why I'm putting in the effort to make this, and believe me, this is taking hours, so I am putting a ton of effort into it. A lot of them talk in English basically the whole time and aren't really speaking much Latin. So with these stories, I'm trying to speak as much Latin as possible so you get more exposure. So that will hopefully lead to faster progress. So here is my game changer. So pretty much the whole reason I did this video was I wanted to make sure people understood that this was here because I feel like this could be really helpful. So if you look down in the description box, and you will have to click more in order to see the full thing, but I do put this transcript in there, and AI has gotten really good. I remember the good old days of Google Translate not being able to translate Latin for anything, like it was absolutely terrible. But with AI, things have gotten a lot better. So you can put this into AI and say, I don't understand the grammar here. Can you explain it? Or what does this word mean? Or there are also online dictionaries that could help with that. Or it can make exercises to go with the video. Again, this is supposed to be fun. Like, don't make everything a quiz, but I feel like this can be really helpful if there's some part of the story you didn't quite understand. So that's all for today. Have fun and learn Latin, and thanks for visiting Easy Latin Stories.